Welcome to Ask Dogfish
at Brew Talks. Sam.
Oh, he's live.
Where are we?
True Sam. We are in the famous Standard Tap, really the iconic pioneering beer bar of Philadelphia in the Northern Liberties. We're drinking what you have to drink when you come in here. The first thing you got to get is the famous local Pennsylvania Chesterfield Ale, which is a nice hoppy light lager. Beautiful beer made about 2 hours from here, I would guess, and I'm here with Chris from Brewbound.
Oh gee, that took forever.
To say who we are, and I'm Sam from Dogfish, and this is Ask Dogfish Brewbound edition, right?
Special edition, CBC. For this special edition of Ask Dogfish, we solicited questions, because that's the whole deal, right? You usually go on Twitter, use the hashtag AskDogfish.
Yeah, and my friends at Dogfish that shoot it don't show me the questions until right before they start shooting.
Let's dive right in, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's get a beer first.
Cheers.
Brandy from the Beer Connect asks, what are your thoughts about breweries shipping beer directly to consumers? In other words, bypassing the three-tier system entirely and delivering beer from the brewery to a consumer's home.
I mean, I think it's a doable option, but I am a firm believer in the three-tier system, and I think if it's allowed, it should be only allowed to a certain amount of volume.
Right.
Because I don't want to, and I kind of frankly feel that same way, and maybe I might differ with the Brewers Association on this a little bit. We're all advocates for breweries having the rights for self-distribution, but I do feel those rights should be capped at some manageable percentage within that state of the barrelage.
Yep.
Because I think this country would be screwed if we didn't have a three-tier system. If you look at a lot of countries where the breweries can go direct, they don't have a robust indie craft scene because the world's biggest breweries can control retail.
Right. Twitter user at Gaston SRV, Gaston from Chile, is curious about larger brewing entities buying smaller independent craft breweries and how the craft scene will look in the future as whether it's AB or Miller or anyone else buys up some of these breweries.
Hopefully in Chile, I don't know if you guys have a three-tier distribution type of environment, but hopefully you have a world where the consumer can know who really made the beer in your country and has a way to access buying that beer as part of the democracy that we love in this country. It's pretty awesome that consumers can vote with their wallet and their pocketbook to say, maybe they say, I don't give a shit if it's Indio, that's a cheap IPA made by a massive brewery. I don't give a fuck about politicizing my beer choices.
Right.
Here's $3. Or maybe that same person says, you know what, I want this money to stay in America and stay in my community and keep this family-owned company going, and I'll put $6 down the bar for that choice. Everyone should be able to make that choice for themselves, but they can't make it without knowing the real context of where the beer is.
They should have all the information. Yeah. Perfect segue, because Dave from Epic Brewing asks, what steps do you think will be necessary for craft brewers to take as a group to effectively combat the perpetuation of the illusion of craft selection due to AB InBev's aggressive proliferation of the now, and he calls them, quote, fake craft brands they purchased?
Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty serious words.
I think there has to be a definition of craft. And I do wish that the world's biggest breweries that sell beer, that they market as if they come from little indie craft breweries, would be a little bit more transparent and forthcoming with the truth about who really controls those brands.
Right.
So I'm a firm believer in the BA's definition, because frankly, I feel like if those massive breweries win and can sell $80, halves of beer that they act like were made in this little neighborhood brewery, then the 4,200 true indie craft breweries that don't have that kind of access to market, that kind of access to ingredients, that kind of access to distribution, we can't win. We'll never win playing the price game. The biggest breweries that sell cheaper beer as craft beer will win that game. So we need consumers and amazing bars like this one, the Standard Tap. I mean, look at this: Sly Fox, Yards, Victory, Weyerbacher, Victory, 2SP, Flying Fish, Dogfish Head!
So many fishes up there.
Right? So, I mean, but I wish every place was like this, but not every place is like this. And I think that that's why we need to keep talking about the definition. So consumers care, and places like this that obviously clear are the real evangelists for our movement.
John from 16 Mile Brewing Company asks, with most of your direct management team having only been with Dogfish for about 5 years or less, what are you doing to slow or stop turnover at a 20-year-old company so that you can grow the business with some stability? And what do you think that turnover says to an outsider that might be looking at your overall health?
Well, I mean, that's an awesome question for all the 4,200 indie craft breweries that have aspirations of growing, because I think what Mariah and I have learned at Dogfish, when we started, we were literally mom and pop company. As a startup entrepreneur, you have to wear a lot of hats, but I think the entrepreneurs that choose to grow to something with lots of people at their company and do it successfully, regardless of the industry, are the ones that have the humility to know which hats really fit them well, the stuff they're good at, and then the stuff that they suck at, like I suck at Excel spreadsheets and HR and things like that.
You and me both.
Right, so you know, you feel my pain. So finding people who have complementary superpowers to your superpowers and enticing them to come on your journey, the way you got to do that is to have the humility to not try and lead everything yourself. And I'm talking about like the fun stuff, the sort of intellectual stuff of the strategy of your company, right, and the creative of your company. You need to involve other leaders so they have a sense of ownership to move those kinds of things forward.
Right, and it sounds like having a little bit of transparency throughout it all probably helps as well.
Yeah, it does, and I want to credit our CEO, Nick Benz. He's driving a 3-year strategic plan for us, and it's not just Mariah, myself, Nick, and a 7 to 8 person leadership team in our boardroom doing that plan. We come up with sort of the overall strategies, but the goals and the tactics of that plan are really owned and fleshed out by all 275 of us at Dogfish.
Twitter user Say It Loud Now, Aaron, wanted to know how you maintain the culture of the Dogfish brand that you crafted years ago. And Facebook user Sam Powell said, basically, how have you approached creating a workplace environment that allows your workers to thrive? So a couple culture questions there.
I think probably our hiring process is the biggest culture, not only filter, but culture amplifier that we have, because it's brutal. It's a full day of waterboarding, where if you're a candidate to come into Dogfish, you come in for a full day and you meet not just with the department that you're going to work, you're applying to work at,
yep,
but you'll meet with like 4 or 5 different groups throughout the day, and it might be a forklift driver and an accountant and a waiter on the team that's in there interviewing with you. And while they're grilling the candidate to see if they're a cultural fit for Dogfish, that they're also describing to each other what's important to them about Dogfish and what they think of our culture. So we're kind of learning from each other.
Interesting.
At the same moment that we're interviewing candidates. And always, as brewers watching this, always end your interview process with liquid truth serum. Because someone at the beginning of the day might seem like a really good candidate.
I like that.
But at the end of the night, after 4 or 5 beers, like, man, that guy was a douchebag. I'm glad we were about to hire him. I'm glad we didn't. This has been fun. And Chris, I remember when you just started working and you came behind the booth with me at the Extreme Beer Fest. I don't know how many years ago, but I want to congratulate you and everyone on Brewbound for being a great voice within our industry.
Thank you. Cheers. And enjoy the rest of the program, folks.
Enjoy this Brewbound session. And Bump's not wearing pants in the next panel.